Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming to Real Expert. Today, we have Cornerstone Competencies and Actions for Real Estate Professionals. Our guest today is none other than Julie Olson. I see all these people in here, and they're already talking to Julie in the chat. She knows them well. Julie is not only an instructor at Kaplan, she really kind of spearheads the whole career mentor program for us and does our real estate accelerator coaching. But Julie has years of experience as a sales manager herself. So walks the walk, talks the talk. She's consulted over 40 brokerages and has coached hundreds, literally, I dare say thousands of real estate agents. Her work at Kaplan includes professional development via the Real Estate Accelerator seminar and coaching program. That's our real estate new agent coaching program. She also helps with broker licensing education. So once you get your license and you want to upgrade to the next level, Julie also helps with that education and leads the weekly career mentor webinars for you new licensees. For those people in the licensing education, we offer kind of a weekly webinar where Julie gives you the insights of what it is to be an agent and some of the real questions and problems and issues that are facing people today. And does it on a weekly basis. So inspires and educates our soon-to-be licensees. Julie shares her extensive knowledge and passion for real estate generously with both new and experienced agents. So not just new, but also experienced agents. Julie, thank you for being here today.
Happy to be here, Toby.
Excellent. If you don't already have Julie's email address, go ahead and take it down. I'm going to put it up at the end also when we're done. But this is going to be a pretty fast-hitting half hour, Julie. Yep. We are going to jump into this very quickly, just so everybody understands how this works. This is a half hour long. This topic literally takes days and days and days to teach, but you're going to get a couple really kind of golden nuggets. We're going to kind of do an overview, and then we're going to come back on later sessions and do a real kind of a deeper dive into some of these sections. And so Julie's the right person to start with. She is the person who helps teach this and coach this with our Real Estate Accelerator training program and her own coaching programs through KDNA. We're going to give you some of that information later. But Julie, thank you again for being here. And one last thing I'm going to do for a little bit of housekeeping. If for any reason anybody has to leave and go, we will. We already know you've registered, and we will send you out an email link to this webinar later, so you can watch it on video later if you weren't able to stay for the whole thing. Otherwise, you're going to be able to send in your chats. You're going to be able to. We have Michelle Auger moderating, so Michelle will be able to rifle any pertinent questions back up to make sure Julie and I see them. Sometimes they come pretty fast, so we might miss some, but we'll make sure we hit some of your questions as we go. So, Julie, I think we've set the stage.
Yes.
But I got one more question, and this is for all you guys listening actively in the live webinar. I'm going to ask a poll question because I want to know who's on. I know I see some new licensees. I know I see some existing agents, and I know we've got some people who are still sitting in their licensing courses. So I want to ask a quick poll just so we can kind of direct the conversation to kind of who we have here today with us. So I got a poll question. Everybody get ready with your mouse. We're going to ask you a quick question. And once again, these are all anonymous. Nobody sees your name in the poll questions. If you type in the chat, you got to know, we're recording this. So if you're typing in the chat, everybody sees your name. We're going to know who asked the chat questions. But here, these poll questions are anonymous. Nobody knows who does the poll question. So here it is. How long have you been in the business of real estate? So how long have you been in the real estate business? Everybody go ahead and take a couple seconds here. Let's go real quick if we can. 10 plus years. Look at that. Look at that. We almost got 10% of the people 10 plus years. Awesome. You guys who've been in for 10 plus years, play along. Help us out as we go through this. We have a lot of new, fresh people in here. 5 to 10 years. We got a couple people there. Less than 5 years. Got a nice big group there. Well, you know what? We got an overwhelming majority of the people are not even licensed yet. So how about that? You people have been in for 10 years. We got people who are still sitting in their licensing course. Can you imagine if you knew then what you know now? Why would you even do it? I think you probably would. I think one of the things we're going to talk about today is about a lifestyle and what real estate allows you to do. And so let's go ahead. I'm going to close this poll, everybody, and share the results, and you can see who's all here. Look at this. Overwhelmingly, 73% are not even licensed yet. We got about 7% at 10 years, 3.75% at 5 to 10 years. Those guys know everything, 5 to 10 years. Less than 5 years, 15%, and then almost 74%. I'm not even licensed yet. How about that? All right. So, Julie, this should give us a really good idea of who's in the audience right now. And
I
so,
think it is really interesting because for those of you who've been in 5 years or more or 3 years or more, have you ever seen a market like this?
oh my God.
I mean, the people who are starting in the real estate business now, this is going to be normal for you. For some of us who have been in the market longer than 3 years, the business is totally different. So everybody's learning something every day. You will never be bored, right, Toby?
Oh my gosh. Talk about change. So I've been licensed since 1991, and we saw crazy stuff in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then we saw, really nice consistent growth from like 2012, but it has just ramped up crazy and the pressures. So I think the key here is it's hard right now to be really good at what you do. This isn't one of those businesses where you can get in and you can just, hang a shingle and you think you're going to sell it. It's not that kind of market, is it, Julie?
It's really not. Nope. You have to carve out a niche in the marketplace.
You do, right? And so what we're going to talk about today, everybody, is we want to make sure you understand kind of some of the cornerstones, the pieces. And so for some of you people in business forever, this is going to be a nice refresher. For those of you people who are sitting there in classes right now going, I really want a career in real estate. You got to understand what it means to have a career in real estate. You got to have a plan. And I think one of the things we're going to talk about, Julie, is we're going to talk about a business plan. We're going to talk about a marketing plan. And we're going to talk about kind of an income plan, really, right? I mean, you got to have those three things. You have to know what you are. You have to know how you're going to reach people. And you got to know how hard you got to work. How much work do you have to do to make the living you want to do? And I think that's one of the things I see when people come through licensing education. They don't always have a grasp, because when you come through licensing education, those who've been in the business, licensing is education is kind of mandated by the state what you can actually be taught during licensing. And it's not really the business of real estate. It's about the laws, the rules, and everything. And so I think today we're going to kind of take the wrapper off a little bit of that. And so let's start at the beginning. Where would you want to start, Julie, if you were going to say, listen, if you're going to have a cornerstone for your business, here's where you got to start.
Okay, so I think the first place that you want to start is to figure out where you want to position yourself in the marketplace. Everybody needs to have a niche or four, right? Because every market is cyclical. So depending upon your background and where you come from and what you have expertise in and interest in, that makes you unique in the marketplace. So we wanted to maybe introduce you to a couple of different niches that might make some sense for you, because in today's marketplace, customers and clients are looking for an expert. So Toby could be a real estate agent, and I could say to Adriana, Adriana, you should call Toby. He's a great guy, right?
I am. Okay, come on.
You are. But we know lots of great guys. But maybe if Toby had positioned himself in a position of working with first-time home buyers, and the client knew that, or the referral source knew that, because everybody's a referral source, and said, you should call Toby. He does homebuyer seminars, and he knows loan officers that have cheap first-time homebuyer money. You should call him, right? Then you've positioned yourself to get referrals, and you have a purpose in the marketplace based on your background.
How many niches are there? Are there really enough niches for everybody, Julie?
Yes, everybody's unique. Everybody's unique. We've been doing this for so many years, and there's never been a person who has the same qualities, skills, experience that the next one does. We can never have too many people in real estate because everybody has a unique niche based on where you've been.
I remember when I got started, and I think a lot of people do. You start off kind of a generalist. You're like, well, okay, well, I'm in the business. I know the law, and maybe you don't come from a specific background. My family happened to be in road construction. And so I understood a little bit about land development and the roads and the costs. And so for me, it was a really easy migration. In my niche started as land development. I worked with land developers. I could talk the talk about roads and construction. And, I had a kind of an easy niche there. But I do know a lot of people start off very much general. And I think what I'm hearing you say is find a niche, find it early if you can. And what do they do? Do you have to have a ton of knowledge, or how do I hone my skills in a niche? What am I looking for? Where do I start?
Well, one of the things that you want to do is take a look at your background. So where did you come from? Say, for example, if you have lived in a lot of places, we have, by their own definition, Army brats in the real estate industry. Have you lived in a lot of different places? Well, you're perfect to work with transferees and relocation because that is what you have experience in. Did you grow up and your dad was a builder, for example, or your mom? Maybe new construction. Have you done project management? Do you have a specialty? Do you have a lot of knowledge, or are you very involved in your community or a nonprofit or a specific school district? What you want to do is bring real estate into your lifestyle. And so your business is going to come from where you show up. And so where are you showing up? What are your interests? People are going to hire you for what you know and your life experience.
I think you said it, Julie, where you show up. If you have a passion, if you have a drive, something that's of an interest for you already, and it rolls into real estate, why not? You're your own boss in real estate, really, right? Why not work in an area where you have passion, you have knowledge, you have an interest? And if you don't, how long does it take to actually create an expertise, to understand a niche? Because sometimes you see a need, and believe me, that's happened in my career too. I don't have the same niche that I had when I started, right?
No.
It moves and it varies. In fact, I just asked everybody in the chat, some of you experienced agents, right? You've been in business for years. What niches are you in now that you did not start in? Because it's a journey, and it's about. I remember back in the early 2000s when we had the whole short sale foreclosure thing. You needed to grab that niche fast when all the mortgages defaulted, and if you did, you made out like a bandit, and if you didn't, you suffered, or you were out of the business. Mm-hmm. So understanding the market, understanding how the niche fills it, right? Who you are and who you're going to be in that marketplace is extremely important in order to differentiate yourself, in order to stand out in the crowd, because it's no secret. There's a lot of agents out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you're normally going to attract people who are like you in one way or another. Like what Toby was saying, when I started in the real estate business, I was super young, and I worked with first-time home buyers, right? And your career is going to evolve, like Toby said, and it can naturally evolve, and it can take 5 years if you don't take some time to figure out your niche.
Yeah.
But it will get to that point. So let's figure out where you are now. So a couple of different niches, like what I do, is I love dogs. So I go after dog people, right? So if I have an open house.
So it's not even a type of real estate. It's a type of owner. It's the type of person.
I know. So I give a portion of my commission to a dog rescue every single time. And if I have an open house with a fenced yard, I tell people, bring your dog over. Your dog's going to love this place. It's got a fenced yard and it's close, right? So how do you position yourself? And then my other, I have 4 niches, of course, but my other niches is entrepreneurs who like creative solutions. So who are you? What kind of personality do you have? Who do you want to work with? Who do you not want to work with? You have all the answers in your head. And it's so nice to go to an appointment and not have to prepare because you already know this stuff.
Nice. I love that. Let's do this. We got some people throwing up some ideas here, about niches that they didn't start in, but they moved in. And I like it because I think I see a little pattern there with David and Rob, right? Beach property, second home. Sometimes what you find is that you fit in with a really good crowd, the dog lovers, and you realize that these dog lovers, maybe, as they grow and as your business grows, they have additional needs that you can satisfy, like a second home. Maybe their income gets to the point, right? They've progressed. And so you can add on niches that actually add on to your current clientele. And niches can be anything from the type of person, people, their interests, to type of property, be it commercial, resident. As a matter of fact, I have a poll question. I'd like to ask everybody here, what niches are you most interested in? This is for everybody. This is for those who've been in the business forever. And this is for people who are sitting in licensing courses. So let's do this. Go ahead. You can answer multiple, right? So try to limit it to, like, let's say 3. Or 4? Did you say 4 or 3 people should have niches? What do you think?
You should have 4 niches. Yep. Right. One for every season. Yep.
All right. So we want 1 for every season. Look at that. There could be a niche per season. This whole thing could be a whole nother 30 minutes. So let's do this. I'm going to open it up, and here we come. Here's a niche. Now, this is a long one. There's lots of answers. You can scroll down on your screen, so you can grab the edge of your screen and pull down, and you can answer multiple ones. Let's hit your top 4. Who do you want? What are your top 4 niches? There's a lot of them there, right? We got everything from leasing agent, commercial real estate. That's kind of a big category. It got really long if I broke down commercial into everything. So I just kind of lumped commercial into one. But we got business brokerage, right? The act of buying and selling businesses for another for a fee. Listing advocate, buyer advocate, baby boomers. I want to work with millennials. I want to work with, vacation homes. And then there's even this new prop up, VRBO, Airbnb investment properties. That's a different type of investment property. All right, I'm going to go close. Everybody we'll give you about another 5, maybe 7 seconds. We'll go another 7 seconds. That's a quick read. Sorry, everybody. We're going to try to get through this. We got a lot of ground to cover here. I'm going to share these results. This is interesting. We've got a couple clear winners here, and then a couple that are really niche.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, as you're thinking about your niche, you want to think about the niche, thinking about a problem that needs to be solved and having a solution. And that's how you market yourself. And where are they looking for a real estate agent? What do they want?
Right on. So the key there is, do you solve a problem for somebody?
Yeah.
Right. Does your expertise solve a problem? Look at that. So we got the clear winner is first-time homebuyers. Love that. There are a lot of first-time homebuyers. Yeah. Millennials are the pig and the python. They are driving the marketplace right now. They held out for years, lived in their mom and dad's basement or buddied up and rented with a bunch of friends, whatever. But now they want a home. Rents have gone up. Home prices, interest rates are still extremely favorable in the historical context. And then investment properties, look at that, in at 11%. Mm-hmm. And then it pretty much flattens out all the way down. Vacation homes, beautiful, beautiful. This is just an idea for everybody, an idea of what is available for a niche. It could be a person, a property, style, and it could be all of those things. Look at that. So there, look at that. Ion rental. I don't know what that is, Catherine. Ion rental. Millennials, luxury homes. All right, let's do this. Have a niche. Who are you in your marketplace, right? That's part of your business plan. Who are you? Who are you going to deal with? Who are you going to service, right? But let's go on. Can we go on? Is that okay, Julie? Or you want?
That's fine. Yeah.
Let's go in, because I think we should talk a little bit about the marketing plan and an income plan, so everybody kind of understands, how those play into this whole thing.
Yes.
And we're not going to be able to dig too deep, but we're going to give a couple of nice little nuggets. And hopefully some of you experienced people can help play along here too, and use that chat. All right. So take us into the marketing plan. What do we mean when we say marketing plan? And why is that important as a cornerstone?
Okay. So your marketing plan, which is my favorite thing to do, by the way, is to figure out who you are, what kind of issue is happening, what kind of a problem can you solve, and then you position yourself in a marketplace with a message marketing that is going to appeal to that specific market. So say, for example, there were so many people that had a first-time home buyer as a niche. Okay, great. What are they interested in? Maybe credit repair, maybe how much money can I buy, maybe student loan debt. What can I afford? Where can I find a first-time home buyer house? So in your social media, in your on your website, you want to be addressing those issues. Now, so if you were after first-time home buyers, and instead you were really after luxury home buyers, do luxury home buyers care about any of that? Your message would be very different to them. It would be more about concierge services, turnkey, luxury, status, networking, right? So the reason that you want to do that is because with the solution, you also have to provide them with resources. They expect you to have resources, loan officers, property managers, all sorts of things. So once you have your niche, and once you decided, figured out how to solve the problem, then you have to have what I call the village, right? To help support those people. And what a lot of experienced agents are doing that you can do now is pulling together all those resources. We give out between 5 and 10 referrals to service providers and vendors every single time. One of the best ways that you can get going in the real estate business and leverage your real estate business is to start getting referrals from those people. They owe you.
They owe you, right?
They do. And they want to work with you. So what kind of resources do you need? And then it just becomes a big circle. So say, for example, if you were going to do luxury, one of your niches was luxury sales, then on your social media, you want to put in a really cool house that might be $85 million, right? So that they think of you when they think of luxury.
Got it.
Or if it's a first-time home buyer, maybe it is advertising a first-time home buyer or average first-time home buyer pricing or something like that. The message has to be specific to them. Yep.
Right. Making sure your marketing message matches your niche. Don't waste time and energy anywhere else. Now, what you might have to do is realize maybe you have to change your niche if you're not attracting the right people or getting into business. But, the key is if you're trying to reach people in that niche, they need to know, and it's got to sound real. I had a very high, medically complex special needs child that, we ended up going on a heck of a journey for 7.5 years. She passed away a couple of years ago, but we learned a lot about what it takes to have a special needs child, medically complex, disabled child, what the requirements are in a home to be able to actually care for that child, from wheelchair accessible to lifts we learned a lot. And now that's one of those niches where we do, my wife and I, to help families with special needs kids. And we make sure that the message matches the service, and we can talk about it because we've been there, we've understood it. And so make sure your message sounds true and real, and that you do have some expertise. And you know what? A part of this is making yourself an expert also, which you can do through time, effort, and activities. And I think we're going to talk about activities next, right? We're going to talk about income plan. I want to be able to move on. Anything else on marketing you wanted to cover, Julie?
Just that I love all the things in the chat. Like, say, is there a niche for underprivileged buyers? Absolutely. Do they have a problem you can solve? Absolutely. Right? Anything that you're interested in, you just have to make sure that the marketing matches what they want, and the message that you're sending out is like you were sitting across the table from them with each niche. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention, Toby, before we go on to the income plan, is that each market is cyclical. We kind of alluded to that. So if you have like 4 niches, rather than trying to advertise every niche every month, what you want to do is if you have 4 niches, there's 12 months in a year, hit each niche 3 months out of the year when you think they're more likely to talk to you. So like if it's families, they're not going to talk to you, from September to February. They're too busy with the kids, right?
Right.
So saturate each of those markets thoroughly and dedicate at least a month to each one so that people remember you.
Got it.
And you do specific. Okay.
Excellent advice. All right. Let's go on, because that's all, great. Business plan. Who are you in the marketplace? Marketing. How are you going to reach people? Consistency of message. Make sure you're solving a problem. Make sure you're real, right? It's like you're talking to them across the table. And then, but it all comes down to, I love that. I want to help people. I want to do this, but can I make enough money to have a career? And do I really understand how much money I'm making or not making? Right. And so when it comes to an income plan, Cornerstone, you must have goals. Am I right, Julie?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And they have to be in writing.
Oh, all right. So, and they must be in writing. So take us into what does an income plan look like? What are you looking at in an income plan?
Okay. So with an income plan, and a lot of this you can tell from what we're talking about. We're talking about an action plan. So we're not just talking about a report. We need to figure out how much money do you need to make over the course of the next year to make you look back and say, it's worthwhile to be in real estate. I'm glad I'm here. What do you want to accomplish? And you need to look at things like, do I want to pay off student debt? Do I want to make my bills? Do I want to buy a new car? Do I want to go on 4 fancy vacations? What do you want? So you need to figure that out. The next piece of it is because we're in real estate for the perks, right? We're not just doing it to make our monthly bills. We're doing it for the perks. What perks do you want? The second thing you want to take a look at is how much time do you have to spend in real estate? Right? Some of you are working other jobs. Some of you life takes up a lot of time. So I guess, we think we work 52 weeks a year, but I was sharing with Toby, on average, we work 40 because of holidays, sicknesses, all that stuff. And then,
well, I could tell you, Julie, we survey our students who are sitting in class, and a lot of them tell us they really don't plan on working 40 hours a week. A lot of them plan to work 30 hours a week or 25 hours a week. And there's a couple go-getters. They're like 60. I'm doing 60. And those are world beaters. I get it. But not everybody is looking for that. And so not everybody's going to have the same amount of hours. But I think what you're getting at is understanding how much money you need to make per hour of work in order for this to be a viable, exercise, right? A career even. Yes,
that's right. So the next step is you take a look at a calendar, right? Mm-hmm. And figure out how much time do I have during the week? And Toby, can you guess how much on average, because we've been doing this for years, on average, how many hours of actual work with a client do you, income producing activities, do you think the average agent / broker works?
In a week, the average, this is going to sound really bad, but I'm going to say 10 hours.
23.
23. Okay.
23 hours.
Price is right. I didn't go over. I went under. That was good. But 23. So not even 30, not 40.
Nope. 23. Nope. Because when we go through the calendar, like we do in the income planner and accelerator, what we do is we have to cross off family time, other jobs, volunteer work, taking care of mom and dad, whatever you've got, and life takes up a lot of time. So how much time do you exactly have? And so you take the gross amount, you divide it by the weeks, you divide it by how many hours you have a week, and that determines your hourly rate, what your time is worth to you based on the goals that you want to make.
Got it. So first and foremost, I think you said, you got to write it down. What's your goal, right? So you got to have a number. Like,
Yep.
how much money do you need to make and what's it for? And the more detailed you can get on your needs, the better off you're going to be. But you got to have a number. As a matter of fact, I got a question for everybody, Julie. Now,
Yeah.
once again, this is anonymous, everybody. This is just to play along to see about everybody who's sitting here. Remember, 70% of the people here are still in licensing course. But I got a quick survey for everybody. I'd love to have you play along. And so for some of those people who've been in business 10 plus years, I kind of think I know where you're going to land on this. But let's do this. How much money do you want to make in real estate this year in 2022? How much money? Now, I know some of you are sitting in licensing. You're only going to have a half a year at it, but I want you to think about it as if it was a full year, your first full year in real estate. How much money are you going to make? For those who are already in the business, 2022, how much are you going to make? How much money do you want to make? And this is a part of goal setting. This is the first thing you got to do, man. We'll throw it out there. You want the dart high. I mean, I think you want to. You
really do. You really do. And when you get down to the hourly rates, we make a lot of money per hour. When we get paid very well. So, you know, it's best to decide what you want. And like, even as an experience, like the experienced agents, the year I needed to put on a new roof, I amazingly made 20 grand extra. You know, you plan for it, and
you plan for it. You stretch a little bit, push a little harder. But if you don't put it down, you generally don't hit it. So let's do this. I'm going to end the poll. Thank you, everybody. Here we go. Ready? Look at these for the results. I'm going to share the results. So we have about 5% of the people say, listen, I'm in this for a bunch of different reasons, but I just need less than $50,000 and I'm pretty happy. Yep. 50 to 100,000, almost 37%. 100 to 150, 30%. Look at that. We got some big hitters, 150,000 plus, 28%. Awesome. Here's the thing. You can do it, but I guarantee you got to have a plan.
Yep.
And you got to know what you're doing with that plan if you're going to make it to your income. Because why? Because you got to understand that income goal does what? Does that drive like how many activities, what you have to actually do?
Yes.
Right? And how many hours you're going to work a week, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so if I was to ask everybody who just finished that poll, and we're almost done, everybody. We got about 2 minutes left. I know we're just over 30 minutes, but we're going to be done in about 2 minutes. Here's the deal. For those of you who filled out, right, how much you want to make as a goal, because I think Julie finds this important. I talked to her about it earlier and I heard her say it again. You should really understand how much money you're making per hour that you work. And so I was going to ask everybody, Julie, if that's okay, a quick question. And play along, be honest. I'm going to ask you to be honest. And the question is, do you know what your hourly rate needs to be to make your goal? You just stated what your goal was. Do you know what your hourly rate needs to be in order to hit that? Look at this. They're flying in fast and furious. We're going to give it another 5 seconds. Get your responses in. We got a lot of people who are very honest, and I like that. With some very honest people.
I love not a clue. Need my calculator. Yeah, that's important that you guys, that you go through the exercise with us, because how are you going to know if a transaction was profitable, right? And the other thing is, once we figure this out with you, that number is going to haunt you, because every time you go to do an activity, you're going to ask yourself, is this now, or will it be in the future, worth $172 an hour? And you're going to be more careful with your activities.
Right? Because you see it, certain activities going to take a lot of time and not a lot of reward. You're going to need to prioritize. As you become more successful, you're going to want to know just how much money you're making per hour so that you can prioritize what you're working on. Very, very interesting. Look at that. Absolutely. Got 16%. Sort of. Good. Yeah, sort of. 30%. Love it. And then the absolutely, now I have no clue. I need a calculator. Over 50%. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, here's the thing, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap up in just a second, but you need to know that these things, these cornerstones, these are the basis of a program that we have at Kaplan called Real Estate Accelerator. Julie is well, I would say one of the foremost experts and foremost coach in our Real Estate Accelerator program, and it teaches you go through just this: a business plan, marketing plan, income plan, and then the activities that you actually have to do in order to hit that plan. And there's goal setting, there's activity tracking, and it can really keep you on track. If you're not familiar with it, you can go to Kaplan, you can look at the website. And if you've bought your licensing class and you didn't get an accelerated program, you can still call into customer service and they will give you the discounted price on that course. But more than that, Julie also does additional coaching, everybody. And she does it with a KDNA, who is really our goal tracking tool, and the author, the owner of KDNA is a man named Steve Strickholm, who created a full throttle coaching books and content and materials for us. And Julie, you're doing the coaching with KDNA right now. Is that
Correct.
it? Right?
Correct. Yep.
Got it. So not Kaplan, but using books published by Kaplan. And I'm going to go ahead and put some information up on how you can contact Julie about coaching, if that's something you guys are interested in as you get into your career, or some of you are already in your career. Julie, any last thoughts for everybody today?
Nothing except that Steve, that owns KDNA, he is going to be here soon. I can't remember what date, to actually go through that income plan with you, if that's something of interest in this series.
Right on. So the income plan, guys, the owner of KDNA is going to be on and show us this tool. It's a web tool where you actually put a number in, and then it tracks all the way back. Like, I want to make 150,000. It'll actually track all the way back to the activities you need to do, like all the way back to how many phone calls you need to make a day to set up appointments, to get a listing, to get a sale, to get a close, to go towards your income number. Is that right, Julie? I think that's
and then it also has income producing activities. We're all about income producing activities, and you track yourself on that too. So.
Awesome. Thank you. I know we went a little bit long, Julie. Awesome. Thank you for all you do for Kaplan. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and put up the slide with the contact information for Julie and the KDNA coaching, if you'd like. Everybody, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Toby. Okay.
You.
Bye.